dive into the big ASU Iowa State matchup set for Saturday. Jeff Van Raaphorst, former Sun Devil QB, now an ASU radio analyst. He is our guest. Jeff, welcome to the show, pal. It's great to have you on. Let's start first before we get into the nuts and bolts of the game with the awards that were given to Kenny Dillingham as Coach of the Year and also to that nice little quarterback, Freshman of the Year as well in Sam Levitt.
Yeah, pretty impressive. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt that Kenny was the Coach of the Year. And Sam Levitt, you can make the argument he's playing as well as any quarterback in the conference, regardless of what grade they're in.
And on top of that, Jeff, when you see something like that, the first team, you had Scatterboo, first-team running back, wide receiver Jordan Tyson, offensive tackle Leaf Fatuno, and then comeback cornerback Xavier Alford, all from ASU. Quite the accolades for a team that did a miraculous turnaround in 1 year, wouldn't you say?
I think just the coaching that the staff has done has been amazing. I mean, Leaf Fatuno has kind of always been the one guy, every broadcast I put a note to really highlight what he's done. I think he's played every snap except one for the last 2 years. And there was one snap he didn't play last year where his helmet came off, so he had to leave. And if you look at his grading, his Pro Football Focus grading, he's one of the better centers as far as production, pass protection, run game. He puts all the blocking schemes into play. And, if you're a young freshman, that's what you want. You want an anchor up front in front of you, Leaf Fatuno, a UNLV transfer. It's amazing what the whole team has done. It's nice to see them get some accolades. Certainly bodes well for Kenny when he just talks about, the process and digging in, doing work in the off season. You do your work and you take care of business and you tune out everybody else, good things happen.
Well, the second team, just to continue, as Jimmy alluded to, quarterback Sam Levitt, tight end Shimon Matayer, defensive line C.J. Fight, and linebacker Keyshawn Elliott. Again, the accolades continue to come even on the second team.
That linebacker core has been really fun to watch this year. And, Keyshawn's super explosive. And there's, 3 transfers, whether it's Cyrus Fasu, whether it's Keyshawn, the young kid, Martell Hughes, has been playing well. But, that's what you'd expect, right, Dan? I mean, if
Yes.
you're winning and you're conference champions, guys are going to get accolades and get rewards for it.
I want to ask, when it comes to looking ahead to Saturday now, and of course Jordan Tyson being out, that's a big hit. But how much play do you foresee Malik McLean getting in there? A guy that, geez, what a pedigree he has, and if they could let him loose, could really make a difference.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where that ball goes and how they spread it around, because there's a lot of targets that went George Tyson's way. And talking to Dan yesterday, Kenny and Marcus Arroyo, the offensive coordinator, have done such a good job of getting the Jordan Tyson the ball from a lot of different spots, whether it be X or Z or in the slot. I mean, they lined Jordan Tyson up in the backfield, brought him out of the backfield a lot. So, Melquan Stovall is kind of the guy I think that's going to touch the ball a lot more. I could see Matayer touching the ball a lot more. Does ASU go into a little bit more 12 personnel? And, do they go Harpole and Matayer as their 2 tight ends and maybe go that route as well? So that'll be the thing to watch the first couple series. ASU obviously is going to try to establish their run game, but when you get a strong running game, especially with Scatterboo, teams creep down in the box your shots. And, where are you going to go to get that deep shot? That's going to be the issue.
Hey, how much, Jeff, can Scatterboo handle? I mean, it seems like a lot is on his shoulders. At least that's the buildup now because of Jordan Tyson being out. How much can he handle?
I think they're going to ride him like a Santan Ford F-150 all the way through the desert, man.
Well done.
Wow, he's a pro. Jeff's a pro. You get Hovick in there. Wow, that's pretty good.
I mean, You can buy a truck or you can buy a Santan Ford truck. If you want to deliver, you got to go down to Santan Ford. No, I think, that you never know what your guests are going to say, do you guys?
No, we don't. No.
The thing about Scadaboo that's pretty impressive is how good he is in the come back. He's the number 2 receiver on the team anyway. So, you look at him, he's great in pass protection. He's a great receiver, a great safety valve. Obviously, Iowa State's going to key on him. I mean, everybody knows that. It's not a secret. I thought ASU did a nice job of using Kyson Brown. They used some 2-back sets last week. They got Kyson engaged. He gave them some really big runs. I think he had that big 69-yard pass catch, So I could see somebody like, him getting the ball. I could see a little bit more 2-back set. But everybody knows Scat's doing it. You give him as much as you can handle. I think the bigger question is if you're an offensive play caller and you're thinking about strategy, okay, what's the opposing team going to do? Well, everybody in the stadium knows you're going to try to take away Scadaboo. But at the same time, as a play caller, sometimes you just got to go with and give the ball to your playmaker and keep giving it to your playmaker and trust your playmaker over and over again. And they've done that. I really like what ASU did last week in the red zone, where they put Scadaboo in the backfield with Kyson Brown and let him run it out of the Wildcat. I mean, and Scadaboo has thrown some passes too, so that's what we haven't seen him yet. We haven't seen him throw any passes this year, but maybe we'll see some on Saturday.
Jeff Van Raaphorst is our guest on the Right Toyota guest line. Jeff, I want to take you then to Iowa State's offense. They have 2 wide receivers, both receiving over 1,000 yards throughout the course of the regular season. Rocco Beck is a solid QB who can deliver the football. Is that your main focus if you're the defensive coordinator trying to slow down that passing attack that Iowa State has?
It's funny. I'm still a believer in you make a team one-dimensional, and, you got to be solid at the
3
attack. I think you take away, just make the run game. I think they're going to play it more situationally. They're going to throw the ball. So the question becomes, how can you turn a 3rd down instead of 3rd and 3, turn it into 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 7? I think, Brian Ward has done a really good job this year on getting teams into 3rd and longer and than they would like to be. And I think that's where you're really going to have to live on is limit their ability to stay, in front of the sticks or with the sticks. Just try to get that 0-yard play on 1st down, hold line of attack, and make them one-dimensional. But, we've got good defensive backs. They've played well. We've got different sizes, right? You got Abney on one side. You got Javon Robinson on the other. Javon has been picked on a little bit the last couple of weeks, primarily because of his size. But if it gets into that kind of a matchup, they can go to LT Welch, and he's more physical back, a defensive back transfer from LSU. He gives you a bigger body in there. So, again, make them one-dimensional. Teams win when they have run-pass options.
And I think the things that kind of negate all that when you talk about, preventing 3rd down conversions, and on the other side, the offense converting those 3rd down conversions to keep that offense on the field. But how hard is it in these big games, Jeff? You want to Rose Bowl with ASU and against Michigan, just being patient and allowing things to kind of set themselves up. Or in a big game like this, you go force the issue from the get-go.
Yeah, I think the biggest first off, it was 87. I'm not that old, but I'll let it slide.
Wow, dude.
86 season, 87. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Way to drag me into your team, Dan. The thing about it, I think, is you got to let each play is its own play, and you execute that play just like a robot.
One.
I mean, Dan, you coach private quarterbacks. You teach them to factor out noise. You teach them to go through, trust their mechanics, trust their eyes, trust their reads, all the little things that people talk about all season long. Big games, plays just happen. when you do the right thing. And I think the worst thing you can do is try to be somebody you're not or do something that you haven't done all year, because then that spooks the coordinators. They're like, whoa, wait, I can't trust this person to execute the play. So as much as you can be robotic with passion, I think that's kind of where, the quarterbacks have to live and really try to execute. But, you're going to have about 76 offensive plays. Just try to not have any missed assignments and trust your eyeballs and let it rip. Biggest thing is not doing too much. The biggest thing is trusting yourself, letting it go. Trust your training.
Jeff, enjoy it.
What do you tell your quarterbacks, Dan?
Exactly what you said.
I mean, Dan,
trust. The other thing.
You've trained all these guys.
And I will say that that's the whole thing right there is we work hard enough. You stay focused, just one play at a time, one task at hand, and one read at time. And the one thing you says, trust your eyes, trust your ability, and then everything else pretty much takes care of itself.
Like eyes are the big thing to me, right? In a big game, when especially at the quarterback position, right? If their feet are off balance, they're dancing around, or their eyeballs are going left, right, center, then you got some problems. But Sam Levitt in that game last, down in Tucson, he was just so efficient. That's what comes to mind with Sam Levitt is forget redshirt freshman. This is a guy that has very few interceptions.
Break whenever.
4 touchdowns, I think 5 picks. His touchdown to interception ratio is supreme. And you don't do that unless you're trusting your eyes and you know where you want to go with the football, because each play is designed to either attack a zone or isolate a man, but it has a purpose in the play call.
He's Jeff Van Raaphorst, brought to you today by Santan Ford here on Fox Sports 910. Hey, enjoy it. We can't wait to talk to you next week and, celebrate a Sun Devil W and continue the season on. So thanks so much for some time today, Jeff, and safe travels.
Appreciate you guys talking about the Devils. Thank you.
That's Jeff Van Raaphorst joining us, the radio analyst for the Sun Devils. Appreciate him as always. Coming up, we need a contestant to challenge Coco, the bartender here at Twin Peaks outside at Tempe. And we need a fifth caller, 602-260-9191. 260-9191, playing for a gift card. And you are going to go Packers at Lions, ASU Iowa State, of course, and then Hawks and Cards. And if you can win, you'll win that gift card, and you can come out and visit Coco. So I encourage you to check us out on YouTube, X, and Facebook for this next segment. Coco joins us next. Rock with Jimmy B.
What's up, guys?
You're clear.
48 Roofing. You can find me on Instagram.